Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. In this video, we discuss about the incident report. We are talking about the damages, discharges, and weather conditions. But how or when we need to prevent this incident? This kind of incident. There are responsible personnel for that, and that is the cargo officers. The cargo officers are responsible for the safe and efficient handling and stowage of cargo, for the correct preparations of cargo spaces, and the correct supervisions of loading. The officers should liaise with others, ship staff, and key members of shore staff. Example, foremen, tally clerks, terminal operators, security, and etc.
I'd like to introduce myself. I am Cadet John Resto Bisuler, and with my team, Cadet Sara and Cadet Saniko.
Good morning, guys. My name is Nelton J. Sara, a base M2A student of Osamis University. Today, I'm going to discuss what is tainting damage. So guys, tainting damage is like a trace of contamination, infection, or meaning to say a damage to cargo. That is why there are many classifications of cargoes in order to avoid damages or contamination to each other. Cargo giving off fumes or odors should never be stowed in the same compartment with fine goods and foodstuff. It is applicable in order to avoid contamination by contact with dirty or oil-saturated stains, producing damage and etc. A noted source of taint damage is a leaky fuel oil tank top just below the cargo. There are many ways in which cargo can be contaminated by another commodity: by infectious cleaning after previous cargo, by improper storage prior to shipment and consequent exposure to a contaminant, and also by poor separation from another commodity in the same cargo space. The ship can, however, avoid contamination occurring on board by good cleaning prior to loading new cargo and ensuring that different commodities are properly separated.
Good day, sir. I am Judge Nico, and I'm here to discuss our topic, which can be found in Module 2.3, and it's all about broaching and pilferage, and damage by temperature, and lastly, rust damage. Broaching and pilferage. Broaching is when the boat heels too far to one side or capsize or to slur around in a wave front. To avoid broaching in rough seas or high winds, keep the backstay on downwind rather than letting it run free. Here is a clip showing a ship broaching too. Pilferage is a theft of small quantities of good or low-value goods in a cargo. Though it is an act of stealing, which often connotes small theft performed repeatedly for a long period of time. To control pilferage, you must maximize managerial visibility in your cargo or limit access stock to your cargo. Damage by temperature. Sudden change of temperature, whether it is high or low, might affect some commodities, which may cause condensation or accelerate deterioration on a ship, which may shorten the shelf life of the commodity or even change its chemical composition. Rust damage, caused by moisture, rain, fresh or salt water, and sweat in the presence of oxygen, which leads to rust, corrosion producing red discoloration, and in certain circumstances, heavy pitting. There are a lot of types of rust or corrosion, such as galvanic corrosion, stress corrosion cracking, crevice corrosion, intergranular corrosion, and flow accelerated corrosion.
Damage caused by lift transfer. Lowering heavy slings or draft of cargo too fast onto cargo already in stowage may be responsible for damage. which often goes undetected until discharge. Similarly, forcefully dragging cargo out that is breached by other cargo or even overstowed may be another source of damage at the time of discharge. High loading rate. High loading rates, the terminal must be prepared to stop operation if the officer in charge of the ship is concerned about deviation from the agreed plan. Risk associated with high loading rates can be assessed by studying the sensitivity of the hull girder to overshooting or overload. Asymmetrical cargo and ballast distribution. Heavy cargo poured into a cargo space at one end of the hull piles up. The lateral pressure acting on the transverse bulkhead increases, since it will not be cancelled out. Stowing cargo asymmetrically about the center line causes twisting and warping of the hull girder. Damage by weather condition. The master shall inspect the vessel and cargo during navigation and, if practicable, and just after heavy weather condition, and advise company if any damage has occurred. Any possible, even if temporary, repairs by ship staff either to the hull, fittings, to the possible cargo containers must be attempted by ship staff as soon as weather abates. In heavy weather, the ship is subject to heavy strain and stresses. The stresses experienced by the ship are hugging, sagging, pounding, and popping. If it is thought that the ship will meet bad weather, precautionary measures are always to be put into effect. There are areas that we need to remember when it comes to weather conditions. Number 1. To check and double, if necessary, all cargo lashing on deck. Number 2. To batten down all hatches and manholes and etc. Number 3. To tighten all lifeboats gripes. Number 4. To remove all ventilators, heads, flags the entry ports, and feet covers on them. Number 5. To clear all loose gear from the decks. Number 6. To make quite sure that all the directs are secured.